Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, finally I welcome you all to the amazing game presented by Liquid Esports, and here is your caster for the day, Eagle this side. But without wasting any time, we will directly move towards the fly path. And talking about the first match, it's totally very much clear to watch out that the map is of a angle, a very decent, a very by default map to watch out. And if we talk about the drop clashes, there are certain drop clashes which could be really clarified. Talking about the poaching key, which is called the Heart of Erangel, it obviously a very decent one to watch out. Talking about Novoripnoi, Milta Power, Yasna Poliana, Rozok, these are the region where you can worry a lot. But talking about the fly path, well, there's a decent fly path and a decent zone formation as well. It's totally towards the team and favorable towards the team, shifted towards those certain parts of the region. And if we talk about the major drop clash, as I told you earlier, poaching is looking very much difficult and very much challenging for the team. Let's see if we talk about team number 4, they're really looking in very much trouble right now. MST, 4-man standing, they haven't secured any finish point yet. They are already into a fight with team GSS. Well, they're also 4-man standing with a great start to watch out. The earliest loot gonna play a very prior role right now. Talking about team number 17, I think they're trying to escape from here. They're trying to get that slow and steady start from their side, but it's not gonna be that easy. This game is totally very much challenging for the team. And there you go, Yasna Poliana, which was very much far side from the drop. And obviously it was very much far side from the fly path as well. Then also players are trying to reach there and give a very slow and steady gameplay from their side, give a very safer side of the game. But it's not gonna be that easy. The mental state of each and every team is almost looking very much similar, because 4 teams, as we can see here, are really looking very much dangerous right now. There are 4v4 scenario for the team. 17 teams, 66 players are standing right now. Talking about Pochinki, well, this is also a region to worry out. MST, NX Hazel, NX Berry, Shazdi, and Ross Baby. Well, there are 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point, and there comes the grenade from Berry. Will they able to make some connection at those early phases? That's gonna be very much important for the team. But those early connection will give a lot of difference and a lot of changes, and perfect start as well. But the grenades are not on point and as well as not on target. But the major drop clash, well, Yasnaya Polyana is surrounded by 16 players, which almost states that there are 4 teams to watch out, and this is very much difficult to outfall. We talk about the earliest drop clash, well, we talk about the earliest gunfights as well, but players are including the drop clash, but they are not including the gunfight. They are very much looking steady and slow at the earliest phase, trying to utilize the loot, trying to utilize the momentum, and getting those maximum amount of loot and maximum amount of time from their side. But if we talk about Pochinki, Team MST, I think they are looking in a great stance. Talking about talking about GSK, there are 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point in the backpack. They're almost on top 17 teams, top 66 alive players. A great start, a great hole to watch out, and those upper hand region, those height advantage is always a region to worry out. But similarly, if we talk about the support, well, I also need your support, guys, so please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream. Like target for the day will be of 50 likes, so I'll request you all to hit that like button. But there you go, it's a clarified diff. He has been spotted out, he'll get a knock and finally been finished off within a while, within a snap, and that was very much quick to watch out. But talking about team number 22, well, they're looking very sharp and very cunning right now. I don't think it's going to be that much easy for the teams and players, because if we talk about the momentum, well, that is totally shifted towards team number 22. They're looking in a great start and a great progression to watch out. But we talk about Hazel, well, there comes the off guard angle, a creative flank, which was very much necessary right now. And if we talk about NX Shazdi, she's still waiting on, she's still holding on a great position, to be very much precise. But there comes some amazing drop rotation, some rotation clashes by team number 10 as well. They are also looking very much great. 4 men standing with those 1 finish point. They're almost on top 17 teams, top 63 alive players. Pretty much good start, a pretty much decent start to watch out. But the question is that how will they maximize their positioning, how will they maximize their holdings? Because talking about team MST, they have already secured 1 finish point, and onto the another end, team GSS, they have lost their 1 player. So there's a difference between their both of the stats. One is leading with a positive end, and another is leading with that negative end. So obviously these are the 2 ends of the cell, so obviously the charge will be also very much difficult. But team MST, they are totally ready to show that aggression, they are totally ready to charge in and get those finishes point at those early phases. This is not going to be that much easy. But talking about it's Rafid, they're also looking very much strong, and there comes some phenomenal shots to be taken down. Team number 22, some of the overconfidence into their place, and finally 1 player has been knocked, and early elimination has been sorted out as well. But talking about Hazel, she is prone down. They're taking the advantage of those broken wall. Grenades and throwables are being used right now. Quite a busy shots of throwables are being used at those right point. But will that make such difference? Because 17 teams, 62 players are still standing out. 6 to 7 minutes is almost getting over. And as we talk about the drop clashes in front of them, it's team number 14. They were leading down, but now they will turn the tables. So the game is totally shifted towards team number 14, and team number 22 looking in a very big trouble and dangerous role to watch out. Hazel is very in a wrong position to watch. She needs to change the position as fast as possible, because if the position is known, then I think you'll be taken down very soon or very early. But she is trying to change her position. Talking about Rose Baby, holding that off guard angle, I think she will also change her position. 7 minutes are almost over. Now the shrink of zone will be totally possible. Talking about the southern parts of the region, there comes the entry of team number 10. It's Exotica, Shamanica, Cinnabon. Well, 3 men standing, 1 finish point. They have lost 1 player, but there comes the entry of team number 5. There, it's none other than the one and only 8 Sonda moving with that EMP45, looking very much lethal, and getting those early finishes point at those early phases gives a lot of confidence and boost to the teams and players as well. But there comes some early cover fire cases. It's 8VN Nature moving with that EMP45, and there comes the surprise attack by some snakes, and there you go. Team 850 is looking in very much trouble and very much challenging phase. Last 3 players standing, they have secured to finish this point. Of course, this is going to be very much challenging and competitive for the players, but not that much easy. As we talk about team number 10, they are totally full of those surprises. Well, almost 8 minutes are over, and still the question is that how will they move forward? And I don't think team number 8 will be that much comfortable right now. Cinnabon holding that thrown down shots, and there comes some phenomenal spray with those EMP45, a very silent weapon to watch out with those suppressors, with those laser sight into her hand. But with those 17 bullets, I don't think it's going to be that much possible. But that one way to it was totally phenomenal to watch out. He has almost secured those 4 finishes point into the over. And Scarl with that red dot. This was what we were talking about. This what we were waiting for. 8 to 9 minutes is almost getting over. Talking about his own shrink, which plays a very vital and crucial role in the game. I think some cunning team, some challenging team, competitive team will get those early rotation right now. But STALWART eSports, Wisdom and Dukai is taken down for having that solo player standing for the team. The whole pressure and the whole responsibility of the team is on her shoulder right now. Well, that grenade makes some difference, because I think she has got some clue of the opponent. She has got some clue of the players as well. Some footstep has been read out, or guessed out. But with that EMP45 and M416, a clutch is very much needed right now. The situation, the environment is demanding the clutch right now. The smoke artificial cover has been created behind the screen. It's almost looking like a third party scenarios. But we talk about LN9 system. Finally, fallback, a creative flank is being done. Talking about team number 18, they're trying to initiate some finishes point in this fight. They're trying to initiate a very good build during this fight. 9 to 10 minutes is almost over. 17 teams, 53 players are looking down. 53 players are moving forward. Violet, if we talk about this player, solo player standing with those 17 teams, 53 players, as we can see, are lying down. Team number 11 looking very much strong with those 3 finishes point. 4 to 4 players are still surviving out. The shrink of second zone is almost up to the mark, and the shrink of third zone will be very much sooner or very much eagerly terminated. But talking about team number 14, well, they are still 3 men standing with those 2 finishes point into their backpack, almost on top 17 teams and top 52 alive players. 10 to 11 minutes is almost getting over, but the shrink of zone is yet not decided, because zone could be shifted at any point of the time. It could be those at those southern regions around those military base, and almost around those those 10 houses region, which could be a northern part as well. So there's a lot of surprises by the zone as well. There's a lot of chaos created right now, but it's gonna be very much entertaining as well. And if we talk about Delphinope, some grenades have been targeted on her. She needs to be very much careful, very much alert right now. Talking about B4A, well, there comes the spray, the grenade by Golden Hand of Haruch. Rice Cakes has been taken down, and one more grenade has been turned by it's Barra, and I don't think this will make a big difference, but yeah, this was a good grenade. If the Molotovs makes that connection, I think team number 6, they are looking in danger. And finally, this fight is looking like a 4v4, a multiplayer battle. 11 minutes is almost over. The next zone shrink will arrive in almost 1 and 1.5 minutes. But the movements, I think this is gonna be very much crucial and challenging for the team. Talking about team number 17, they are also totally ready for the fight. 4 men standing, they haven't secured any finish point yet. Talking about team number 17, well, they are still 4 men standing on top 16 teams, the top 49 live players, as we can see, but it's going to be very much crucial. Talking about Stalwart eSports, well, they are still waiting. Violet is still around those ridges. Violet is still around those positioning. Lerine and Nivala system and Nisa, well, they're still surviving on 4 men standing with those 3 finishes point into their backpack. Talking about the farm region, talking about the eastern eastern parts of the region, where team number 17 is totally ready to challenge team number 6. And this fight is a typical wrangle fight. What we talk about, the players are trying to judge the plan, judge the plotting, and then you initiate your execution, you initiate your plans as well. But 12 to 13 minutes is almost getting over, and the shrink of second zone is almost there. Third zone could arrive in few minutes, but until then you should be ready with those utilities, you should ready with those vehicles, because early rotation is always a difficult task and always a grateful task to watch out, because you'll get a lot of surprises and you'll get a lot of positive intent in your team. Well, beneath these things, I'll also request each and everyone to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and share the stream, because this becomes very much important. Your support is almost what we talk about, to bring some back-to-back events, to bring some back-to-back tournaments for you guys. This is very much necessary, but at the same time simultaneously liking the stream, subscribing the channel, and showing your love and support, this also becomes very much important for our growth, for our consistent performance as well. But talking about the next zone shrink, finally the zone has decided that where it could be shifted, and it is now towards those southern parts of the region around military base. What we talk about, those height advantages, those mountains looks very much difficult and challenging for the team. But southern parts of the region, well, team number 16 TMQ, well, a pretty much decent name to watch out. They haven't secured any finish point, they're almost on top 16 teams and 49 players. But the question is still the same, how will they move forward? Because at those Primorsk region, what we talk about, a silent one, water rotation could be done, but it's not going to be that easy. We talk about boat, we talk about ships and trains, but a very low HP vehicle, what we talk about, this is going to be challenging for the team. If any other team spots this team, I think some early sprays could be taken and some blast and some some entertaining gameplay could be done. But 15 minutes is almost getting over. A pretty much good start has been done by each and every team. Last 16 teams, I'll not say last, I'll say top 16 teams and top 49 alive players are still surviving down the line. But we talk about the zone shrink and damage, it's a pretty much decent damage. You can survive outside the zone for a minute and for a 2 minute if you have a pretty much good decent first aids and get done with those energy drinks. But 15 minutes are almost over, we are almost ended towards those 50% of the match. Team number 8 is trying to create some stubble and chaos around those bridges, and trying to backstab the players and other opponents as well. But the opportunity is now into the hand of team number 8. They could create some gatekeeping scenarios right now and get those early finishes point. They have already secured those 4 finishes point and the confidence are into her favor. But it's gonna be pretty much challenging and chaotic for the teams and players as well, because what we talk about, the consistency, and the consistency is shown by team TMQ. I have already talked about this team. They're not into taking those early fights and getting those finishes point. They are totally into those getting those position point and getting a good hold around the zone and getting a good hold, getting a good position around the holdings. Of 15 to 20 minutes is almost over. What we talk about, the eastern parts of the region, LQ, Serena, Anim and Sabrina are still surviving. 3 men standing with those 0 finishes point into their backpack. They're almost on top 16 teams and top 45 alive players. Still a pretty much decent task to move forward with. But what we talk about, team number 8, well, BJK, Zeros, Facer, Athens 61, 3 men standing with those 4 finishes point. This is a pretty much decent position to hold on with, survived with those unbuilt tanks, survived with those terrains or big rocks. You get a pretty much decent cover as well, you get a pretty much decent hard covers. But talking about Liquid 5, Aman, Shasha and Sabrina, well, these are the 3 players standing right now. They haven't secured any finish point, but the negative part of this team is that they have lost 1 player, which could cause a lot of trouble in those end zone. But talking about the zone shift, well, STALWART eSports, while the last player, the Lone Ranger, surviving for the team. Now she's trying to swim this a long river, which is not possible at all, but she'll try to the end breath for the team. But talking about the western parts of the region, team TMQ, Neta Dawn, Sabi, Anissa, MK Ami, well, these are the 4 players standing. They haven't secured any finish point, but totally moving with the zone formation. 16 to 17 minutes is almost over. Team number 11, well, they are also looking in a very great stance and a very great approach to watch out. let's see, you still need to get inside the zone for those 5 or 10 meters. But talking about GB, Ayuch, Lucy, Heather and Purple, well, these are the 4 players standing with those 3 finishes. But in the back pocket, and there comes the important and a grenade from his side. That was a gold hand grenade. What we talk about, Lucy and Heather are the last 2 players standing. Purple, what we talk about is creating some unphenomenal flank onto the right hand side. Purple with those, this will make quite obvious for the team and players that there's hiding someone behind those smoke artificial cover. Some grenade are almost being used. Purple is trying to create those good cover fire, but it's not gonna be that much easy or that much possible for the players. 17 to 18 minutes is almost getting over. Talking about the eastern parts, is still a region to worry out. TMQ Ami he's still surviving out. Meta down is down the ground. 17 to 18 minutes is almost over. Northeastern parts, well, if what we talk about Team GSS, they are not having vehicle. It's very much difficult for the team to give the rotation, but you can survive till this zone. After this zone, you need, I think, vehicle becomes very much important, and it's become a necessity rather than a liability. But talking about team number 11, they are almost 4 men standing. They haven't secured any finish point, but there you go. Metadon has been spotted down, and onto the another end, the last player, Amy, the Lone Ranger. Each and every responsibility of the team is on her shoulder right now. Eastern parts of the region still looking very much difficult, surrounded by 2 or 3 teams right now. Gatekeeping scenarios could be created, but team number 11 not looking considerable right now in this position. Still a very challenging phase to watch out. Lenila, Lenisi and Divala, 3 men standing with those 6 finishes pointing to their favor. 18 to 19 minutes is almost over. Eastern parts is also looking very much chaotic and very much crucial fair. Elise is still moving forward with those MP45, finally getting some early knocks at those early, and I don't think luck is that much favorable. 11 teams, 31 players, 2 finishes point have been secured. 19 minutes is almost over. We are moving towards the end zone and game. For the day, for the first match, not for the day, but because the day has started now. And what we talk about the fights, well, they come 17. They are totally very much aggressive. 11 teams, it's almost like not 11 teams, it's almost converted to 10 teams and 28 players on an average 2.8 from each team, and which almost looks like surrounded 3 from each team. What we talk about the consistency, and that could be clearly seen in the end zone, because each and every team till here is with those 3 men strong advantage, and that is totally very much remarkable. Well, if we talk about the time battle, 20 minutes, well, this is up. Team number 4, Team Ari, they are looking very much strong and very much holdable enough, but not gonna be that easy in front of them. What we talk about team number 17, they're still holding on, they're still waiting on, with that creative approach, with a creative hold. Not gonna be that much easy, as I said earlier, but it could not be that much challenging also. You should be very much ready, and you should be very much holdable for the team. 20 to 21 minutes is over. Southern parts is still looking very much challenging. Southern parts is still looking very much crucial for the teams and very much crucial for the players. But onto the another end, what we talk about the rotation clashes, there comes the amazing rotation clashes. IWD4 and it's Udu 4. Well, they're still waiting on. 20 to 21 minutes is almost over. Around the zone, outside the zone, what we talk about, there comes team number 8. They are totally into those late rotation, because last 9 seconds are remaining, and this zone will hit you very hard. It could ruin you, it could ruin your team as well, and you could get to the lobby as well. It's not gonna be that much easy. But southern part, well, just survived by team number 15 right now, and they're almost ready for the rotation. Zone shrink is onto the game, and there will be some rotation clashes. What we talk about team number 8, 3 men standing, they're almost at the zone central part, and this could be a gamble played by this team. It's Faisker, he's been spotted down, and he'll be taken down. If we talk about Team Ari, they're getting those height advantages, they're getting those upper hand advantage. She has got a very pretty decent a shack to hold on with the Thompson, which is not that remarkable weapon for the mid-ranger close range, because what we talk about, it could be bomb blasting in those pretty much with that Uzian MP45 combination. But it's Laro Lychee. Some grenades are being used. Last 5 teams, last 13 players are surviving out. And talking about the eastern parts, 22 minutes is over. A pretty much good start to watch out. Let's see how will they move forward. Let's see how they play on. But talking about Imari, Likowa, Lyra, Yutuba, and Amaya, pretty much decent and unique name to watch out. They're almost on those top 5 teams and entered for those 23 minutes to watch out. But talking about the northeastern parts of the region, Elena Sinisa, it's Idwala, Nelfi, and yeah, to watch out. There are 4 men starting with those 11 finishes point, which is totally a one-sided domination to move forward with. Talking about the northern parts of the esports, well, northern parts is survived by STALWART esports. Violet, the last player, I think she's the lone ranger, playing phenomenally and very much chaotically. It was very much difficult for Violet to across the river, and then you came inside the zone. Now it's looking almost difficult, almost like impossible, because it's like a 1v4 at those end zone. You're not having a great cover and you're not having a great backup as well. But right now it's BJK Zehro's last player standing, and she is trying to get that clutch into her favor with that EMP 45 and M47, which is pretty much good confidence to watch. And there comes the 1v2 with that EMP 45. Reload should be done, but right now that first and pop in is very much needed, and finally that reload will come very much soon. 5 and 2 bullets are remaining simultaneously in both of the weapons, EMP 45 and M416. But I think she is not very much immune to that. Some early sprays have been done. A grenade was, I think a grenade, the plan was there to pop out a grenade, but will that grenade make a on-point connection? If this grenade make a connection, I am totally ready to see that 1v4, because Zeros is totally looking on fire, and that Molotov, I think that could be very much dangerous and lethal right now. The 24 minutes is almost getting over, and pretty much good start which was given by team number 8. Now they're ready to give that payback time. It's almost like looking like a 1v4. Last 3 teams 6 players. It's 1v3v2. Talking about team LN, well, there are also 2 men standing with those 12 finishers point in the backpack. A pretty much good start has been done. Talking about team number 4, they're looking in danger, but the most important thing, man advantage, players advantage is done by team number 4, which was very much required. 3 teams 6 players, 12 finishes pointed to team LN favor. And now what we talk about the consistency, it is totally showed by team number 4. Last 3 teams 6 players, 1v2v3. team RE in man advantage. Zeros is having, she is still having the opportunity to get that 1v3, but not gonna be that much involved right now. Let's see how will she move forward, what will be the strategies. But with that MP45 and M416, I don't think it's gonna be that much easy and possible for the team. 25 minutes is almost over, very much close to chicken dinner. It's Loka, she's still waiting on, and 1 golden hand grenade on point. I think this will totally decide what will be happening at those end zone. Another grenade on point. This is gonna be very much difficult for Zeros, because now artificial smoke cover will be removed in some time, and 3 teams 5 players are being there. 25 to 26 minutes is almost getting over. She's still moving forward with that EMP45 and a EMP5 hold. 26 minutes, and the game is being stretched just for the sake of that winner chicken dinner. Nelly is still waiting on. Some grenades and throwables are being used. Some on-point grenades will obviously make a connection. There comes to some shots. Molotov, I don't think this has made a bigger connection, but Zeros still surviving on those 10 HP. Hats off to her survival skills. Finally, she's been taken down. Nelly, the last player standing, and the game is finally moved towards that 1v3. Last 2 teams 4 players, 12 finishes point by team LN, but Mari, those 8 finishes point moving towards Nelly. I don't think it's gonna be that much possible, and the Molotov will be there. And finally, the winner chicken dinner of the first match of the first day is secured by team RE. If we talk about the finishes point, well, that was something very much phenomenal. 9 finishes point was done by the team, and pretty much good gameplay was almost proclaimed by the team and players as well. But this is not it, guys. This was the first match of the day. We will continue with you guys with back-to-back, still 2 matches left behind. But till then, stay tuned, keep supporting us, and do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream. We'll meet you after a short break, and keep supporting. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, स्वागत है आप सभी का आज के stream. Okay, so finally here we are coming up with the second match of the day. And Miramar ka ye map, I think it's the map of Miramar, and talking about the fly path, well, pretty much decent fly path as we can see is totally presented here. But what we talk about the drop clashes, it's totally towards the Hasi Undertale Patron, and pretty much Pecado region is always a wayful to watch out. Let's see how will the teams, how will the players move forward, what will be their scenarios, what will be their reflections right now. But it's not going to be that much easy, or not going to be that much doable by the teams and doable by the players. Let's see how will they move forward, where we could see a lot of number of fights. Talking about the Pecado, which is termed as the heart of Miramar, this is also a pretty much difficult region to watch out. Multiple teams is moving forward with those aggression and with those progression into their favor. But talking about STALWART eSports, Team 1S, they're also totally ready. A 4v4 scenario, 4v4 scenario is developed there. Almost the time period of if we look towards 2 minutes 3 minutes is over. A pretty much decent time period is several to watch out. But onto the other end, what we talk about the southern parts of the region, team number 19 is very much ready. Talking about team RE, Loguka, YouTuber, Mania and Leora Chi, well, they're also very much ready. A 4v4 scenario could be developed out. A 4v4 scenario could be maintained there as well. Multiple fights could be engaged at those early phases, and players and teams are looking very much stable and very much slow steady, not trying to initiate those fight at those early phases, which is very much difficult and very much challenging for the team. But on to the other end, what we talk about El Pozo, this region, I think a very much crucial, a very much challenging region to watch out by the teams, a very much a challenging region to watch out by the players. And let's see how will they play off, what will be their result, what will be the momentum. Very much crucial moment to watch out by the teams, a very much crucial moment to be watched out by the players. Let's see how will they move forward. And if we talk about Team GPE, they're also looking very much strong, 4-man standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet, but moving very much steadily, very much chaotically, with that same aggression, with that same momentum. And how will they move forward? Talking about team number 18, they're also looking very much strong. They're also looking very much holdable enough by the teams, holdable enough by the players. Onto the other end, talking about the southern parts of the region, team number 19 looking very much ready, looking very much chaotic to initiate those fights at those early phases. Not gonna be that presentable, not gonna be that easy by the teams and players. Logika, Real Itachi, Mania, Rise, Quack Cake and Issue, well, they're still waiting on, they're still moving on with that same consistency, with that same maintenance. But it's still a very much pretty much difficult task to maintain out of, because drop clash is always a challenging phase to note out. Well, on to the other end, Agi, Logika, Ftuba, Amia is still onto the roll. A 4v4 scenario is developed out. 4.5 to 5 minutes is almost over. Talking about the northeastern parts, still a very much pretty much difficult task to watch out. STALWART eSports, Violet, Duka, Wisdom and Leah are still there with those 4-man standing team, and they're almost on top 17 teams, top 66 alive players. A very decent, a very difficult moment is being maintained out, a very difficult moment is being chased out. Let's see how will they maintain out the progression, how will they maintain out the momentum. But onto the El Pozo side, I think it's very much difficult for the team, it's very much difficult for the players to maintain the same consistency and to maintain the same hold by the teams and by the players as well. But onto the other end, if we talk about the Hacienda and Patron, Team STALWART eSports, last match they almost secured on top 5 teams. But this match is very much different, the map is very much different, and you should be very much ready for the fights as well, because consistency, which plays a very prior role, I think this will be very much needed in this match. Talking about the zone formation, southern parts of the shift is being formed out, and similar zone was there in the last game as well. Southern zone shift was almost doable there as well. So let's see how will they move forward, what will be their results, what will be their momentum. But onto the other side, what we talk about Picado, Team REF. Well, they've lost their two players now, almost onto the hand of last two players, and there comes the phenomenal spray to watch out. This is what we were talking about. The bait was done by team number 19, and finally the position is revealed, and Rialul Ichi has been taken down. FU Tube, he's been that last player standing for the team, and the pressure is totally onto his shoulders. Well, let's see how will he play off, or what will be the results of the teams, what will be the results of the players as well. It's very much difficult, very much a challenging task for the teams and players as well. But on to the northern path, what we talk about El Pozo. Pretty much difficult, pretty much challenging result to watch out by the teams and watch out by the players. Talking about team number 18, they're also looking very much ready. 17 teams of 64 players are still surviving out. 7.5 minutes is almost getting over. Talking about Pecado, this is still a region to worry out. Cakes and Piacho are still standing on. There has been taken down. Rice Cake is still moving forward with that M249, a very hunger poetry, hunger weapon to watch out. Finally, they have won this fight with those 4 finishes point into their favor. Pretty much, a difficult decent task to watch out, but it's not gonna be that much easy. 7.5 in 8 minutes is almost over. They're still moving with that same hold, they're still moving with that same consistency. Western part is very much difficult, but Tiaga, Biekaram, Kandira and Bara, well, they are still onto the roll. 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point. They're almost on those top 16 teams, top 61 alive players, and 8.5 minutes is almost getting over. A very difficult region to watch out. Let's see how will they perform out, what will be their momentum as well. The northern parts of the region is the Liquid 5 eSports. 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point into the backpack. They're almost on those top 15 teams and top 60 alive players. A pretty much decent progression to watch out, pretty much a decent task to be maintained out. 8.5 minutes is over, and the first zone streak, the first most momentum is being progressed out. Now on to the other end, if we talk about the western parts of the region, 8.5 minutes is almost getting over. And if we talk about the rotation clashes, let's see team number 10, how will they initiate the clash, how will they initiate this fight. 16 teams to 60 players are standing out. 9.5 minutes is almost getting out of the league. But onto the southwestern parts, well, team number 5, they're looking very much sober. They're looking, in a very great condition to watch out. 16 teams, 60 players right now. Northern parts of the region, Stalwart eSports, they're totally ready. Duca, Violet, Wisdom are still surviving out there with that great position, a great hold into their favor. 9.5 minutes is almost over. Talking about team number 6, they are also looking in a great hold, in a great progression to watch out. Let's see how will they move forward, what will be their momentum. BGK Contra, Feaser and Kina Zeroj is still standing on. 4 players, no finishes point yet. They are on top 16 teams, top 59 alive players. 10.5 minutes is almost over. Western part of the region is still a very difficult task to watch out, in which you're using Swifty and as Bonder, as you can see, are still surviving out. 4 players, they haven't secured any finish point. 16 teams, 59 players. Northern parts of the region is still a very much difficult task. MST, Nak the Shazdi, Hazel, Mifty and Berry, they are still standing out with those 0 finishes point. Top 16 teams, top 59 players. 10.5 minutes is almost over. A very decent task is dead down at those zone central part. Team number 10, they're also looking very much ready at those northern parts of the region. Team BGK, Contra, Acer, Ethan, Zeroj, these are 4 men standing team. They haven't secured any finish point yet. pretty much a decent position, pretty much decent task is maintained by the players and teams there. Yura, Yagi and Christie, they are also surviving with those 3 men standing with those 2 finishes point. Very progressive gameplay, a very challenging gameplay is done by the players. Q Fucker and Ividya 4 are still maintaining out the same progression. 16 teams and 59 players. So what we call about the rotation clashes. Well, team number 18, this team is totally ready. 3 men standing with those 2 finishes point and some rotation clash would be included, would be charged now, but they're looking very much sober and they're looking, a very much calm, composed, very much, with those doable approaches. 11 and a half minutes is almost over, and still the consistency is maintained by the players and teams. Well, on to the another end, what we talk about the rotation clashes. If we talk about the northeastern parts, looking very much difficult and challenging for the teams and players as well. Let's see how will they wear off, what will be the results there as well. Not looking that much sensitive right now, but romantic. I think this player is totally ready. This player is ready for that fight and ready for that culture to blow off, to blow down. But some info 16 with that 4x spray are being taken down. The next zone shrink is almost onto the roll. So you should be ready for the fight. You should be ready for those aggression, you should be ready for those momentum. It's not gonna be that much easy, it's not gonna be that much doable for the teams. 12 and a half minutes is almost getting over off, is almost getting a return of eastern parts of the region. Pretty much challenging, a pretty much crucial region to watch out. 12 minutes is almost over. What we talk about southwestern part, well, this region also becomes very much challenging. This regions also becomes very much crucial for the teams. So let's see how will they perform out, let's see how will they maintain out. Eastern part, a very crucial, eastern part a very challenging region to maintain out. But on to the northern parts of the region, team number 21, they are totally ready to engage that fight. They're totally ready for the engagement at those early phases, because kill points becomes very much necessary. Kill points become very much important for both of the sides, for both of the teams, whether it be with man advantage or whether it be with those man disadvantage or height advantage, whatever matters. But kill points, obviously it becomes very much important for the teams and players. I believe on to the other end, if we talk about the eastern parts of the region, this is also looking a pretty much decent and cool region to watch out. 16 teams, 87 players, as we can see, are still surviving on with that same note, with that same consistency. Aggression is shown by some teams, aggression is shown by some players as well right now, but the minimal approach is quite similar. The minimal approach is quite doable by the players. Talking about team number 22, they're also looking very much ready. They're also looking in a great condition to have this sport into their favor, a great condition to deliver out the same consistency. But 14 minutes is almost over. Talking about the western parts of the region, team number 17, I think the progression is showed by that team as well. The progression is shown by that players as well. 15 minutes is almost over. Half of the time, what we talk about, 50% of the time is almost getting thrown down, is almost getting let down. And southwestern part, there you go, team number 5, totally ready, very much consistent for the game, very much consistent for the fight. It's very much challenging for the teams, it's very much challenging for the players as well. How will they retain the same consistency, how will they retain the same momentum by the players and by the teams as well? Because what we talk about the fights, what we talk about the finishes point and place point, and that is not secured by many of the teams. Well, onto the another end, the western parts of the region looking very much chaotic, looking very much challenging by the team. 15 to 16 minutes is almost over. a very difficult region is thrown down in front of them. It's team number 18 looking in a very challenging phase, looking in a very challenging hold to watch out. Let's see how will they perform out. Let's see what will be their results as well. Southern parts still a very difficult task to watch out. Team number 16 very much close to the enemies, very much I believe very much close to their progression as well. But on to the other end, what we talk about the northern parts of the region, this is also looking very much crucial and very much challenging for the teams and players as well, because the distance matter a lot, and at those early phases distance could create a lot of stubble, distance could create a lot of chaos between the teams and between the players as well, and the result could be very much difficult. But northwestern part, team number 18 is totally onto the hold, is totally onto the track, and I think so that they are not trying to initiate the fight. They are ready for that backstabs, or they could also be ready for that gatekeeping approaches. So you never know what will be the result, what will be the momentums right now. But let's see how will they proclaim out. 16 to 17 minutes almost over. Southwestern part still looking very much challenging, still looking very much crucial for the team. But on to the other end, northeastern part, it is still a very much a difficult hold, difficult momentum to maintain out. 17 to 18 minutes is over. But on to the other hand, team number 17 is still moving forward with that same consistency, still moving forward with that same hold. But what we talk about the zone shrink, southern parts, again the rotation would be very much difficult. Beneath these things, I'll request each and everybody to please do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream with your mates, with your friends, and do show your support as well. But zone central part, this is acquired by team number 19 for finishes point as already secured by the players, secured by the teams as well. And the last player standing for the team, it's Cupid Cake is being that solo player standing and barely surviving those few HP, moving to get those finishers point, is barely surviving those few HP, and finally will get spotted and will be removed from the game, and will get removed from place as well. But 19 minutes, pretty much decent time is moved forward to Fair Christie. Some shots is being taken, taken onto the team, taken onto the player. But onto the other end, southern parts of the region very much difficult. 8B Swifty, Bunks, Sponder and Venuture are still surviving. 4 men standing, 13 teams and 41 players are still moving forward. Well, 19 to 20 minutes is almost over, and if we talk about the potential, if we talk about the hold, 12 teams, 39 players are still waiting down the line, are still waiting down the momentum. It's gonna be pretty much crucial. 12 teams, 35 players, 19 to 20 minutes is almost over. Talking about team number 17, well, they're also holding on, they're also waiting on, and let's see how will the hold, how will the momentums of the teams, of the players will be maintained out. It's not gonna be that much easy or that much crucial, but still the chasing scenarios, the believing scenarios could task a very much difficult momentum, could task a very much difficult hold to maintain out. Next zone shrink is formed out towards those northeastern parts of the region as compared to the last compared zone. But what we talk about the rotation clashes, team number 9 is onto that rotation clash. Team number 14, well, this team is in back to back those rotation clashes, always getting a very upper hand region in those zone. And think this is a very good eye-chilling, a very good eye-chilling progression, a very good eye-chilling momentum from the team. 10 teams, 35 players, as we can see, are still moving forward in the game with that same momentum. But on an average, what we talk about the consistency, well, 3.5 players almost looks like, so 3 to 4 players from each team will be getting an average of gun power and getting an average of support from the players from region number 9. Well, there you go, finally the first pick was getting down to this team, but Gazaki looking very unlucky right now, will be taken down and eliminated also within a snap. I think this is very much crucial. This is very much challenging for the teams, very much challenging for the players as well. 10 teams, 34 players, and almost looking like trouble for team number 18 as well, because consistency, what we talk about, is losing behind. Well, there comes some phenomenal, some decent spray to watch out, and there you go. Teams and players finally getting those early momentum spike. Swifty has been taken down, and within a snap, team number 5, well, they will be get eliminated, which was not totally expected right now. Talking about team number 18, well, they're also 3 men standing with those 5 finishes point into their favor. Decent hold, decent positioning to maintain out. 8 teams, 21 players, 20 to 23 minutes are almost over. Southern part is still looking very much crucial and very much challenging for the teams and players as well, but you need to carry forward, you need to maintain the hold, you need to maintain the progression, and I don't think it's that much easy for the players. Griffshaw is still waiting on. Griffshaw is still moving forward with those same aggression into his favor. 7 teams, 20 players right now, as we can see, is still surviving on, and the movement could be slow and steady, but the result would be very much clear by the teams and by the players as well. Team number 14 getting those early knocks, getting those early sprays. There comes is GLS Adda of Div 6, 4 men standing with those 7 finishes point into his favor. 7 teams, 20 remaining players, as we can see. 20 to 21 minutes is almost over, and a pretty much good decent start is done by the team. 22 to 23 minutes are almost over. Talking about the I3V Stewed, he is still waiting on. I believe William is still waiting on. 23 to 25 minutes are over. Northeastern part looking very much chaotic for the teams and players as well. Team number 18 looking in a dangerous scenario. 6 teams, 16 players, 23 minutes to 24 minutes is over. Having M416 is a dangerous weapon, and there finally comes, if I'm not wrong, a 1v1 scenario, but the zone strength is always a challenging and tough task to watch out. पांच टीम्स 11 प्लेयर्स अभी के लिए यहाँ पे देखने को जरूर से मिल रहे हैं. एक अच्छा होल्ड. आई बिलीव 5 teams 11 players are still walking out, but talking about team number 17, they are still on the hold with those 2 finishes point into their favor. In front of them, it's team number 8 looking in a great strong position to watch out with those 6 finishes point, and this is what we talk about the holding. This is what we talk about the positioning in front of them. Team number 17 also looking very much strong, also looking very much progressive. It's Bara with that great hold and a great momentum. Southern parts of the region, well, I think it becomes very much crucial for the teams and players as well. Team number 17 getting that upper hand advantage, and a great task to watch out. But on to the other end, team number 10, I don't think it's gonna be that crucial, that progressive, that challenging for the team number 8 with those man advantage. This becomes very much crucial and very much easy for the team to decide whether that this team will get that GP or not. I don't think it's gonna be that much easy. 3 teams, 7 players. This is gonna be the second last fight, I believe, for the second match. But there you go, Simon has been taken down, and this fight is moving from that squad to do, and finally we are on to a 2v2 scenario. A 2v2 scenario is developed out. GSS Madif 7. Well, there comes the golden hand grenade, and finally, the elimination has been done. Those almost looks like 10 finishes point. The team will get that winner chicken dinner, and a great start and a great ending is done by the players and is done by the teams as well. But this was the second match of the day, and a very consistent, a very doable match is done by the players and teams as well. We'll take a short break and we'll meet you after a short break. Till then, stay tuned and keep supporting us. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, finally here we are coming up back with the third and the last match of the day. And similarly, if we talk about the fly paths starting from those southwestern parts of the region and ending towards those northeastern parts of the region, a pretty much diagonal fly path. But whenever we talk about the angle map point of view, we always agree onto a note that fly path doesn't matter because it's a very decent, a very unique map to watch out, a very smaller map where we can see a multiple number of drop clashes at those early phases, but it's not going to be that easy for any one of the team, any one of the players as well. But on to the other end, talking about the eastern parts where we could see some fewer drop clashes as well. Bootcamp is a region to worry out where you could see a multiple drop clash, but right now only team number 14, as we can see, is surviving there, which is also very much surprising and very much difficult for the teams and players as well. But eastern parts of the region, GBE, Ayuruch, Hither, Purple and Lucy are still foreman standing with those 0 finishers point. Decent start is maintained out. Talking about Cow, well, this is also a very strong and a very protective region, foreman standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet, but onto the Andai region, well, what we talk about the Liquid 5 eSports, so they are also looking in a great hold. They are also looking in a great progression to watch out, and a very doable gameplay is maintained by the team. A very doable gameplay is maintained by the players as well. Let's see how will they move forward. What will be their momentum? How will they initiate these fights? Because this is the only drop clash what we could see. What we could see around this region. So should always worry about those early states. We should always worry about those early drop clashes, and actually we should win those drop clashes as well. But team number 17, I don't think they're not ready to give up at any cost. Team number 5 instant, they're also ready to initiate this fight into their favor as well. Is Nikis, it's Netchar, Wi-Fi, and finally the first knock of the blood. Even the first blood is taken by Netchar. That was pretty much cunning, and that was pretty much smart as well to watch out. A decent start is given by the players, a decent start is given by the teams as well. And now the question is that how will they maintain the same consistency? How will they maintain the same hold? Talking about team number 17, they're not looking in a great stance. They're not looking in a great hold to pick forward. 16 teams, 62 players are still ready to take those fights, are still ready to initiate those momentums. But western part, team number 9, they are looking very much ready. They're looking very much lethal for the teams, very much lethal for the players to move forward right now. 16 teams, 62 players. Cow region is still a region to worry out where a 3v3 scenario is building up. Well, some beautiful basic EMP 45 on info 16 shots has been taken down. It's Bara, the solo player standing for the team. 16 teams, 61 players. 3.5 minutes is almost over. A very decent start is maintained out onto the other end. Team number 5, they're also looking in a great progressive gameplay, a great progressive hold. We're talking about the western part, team number 16, they're also very much ready. Foreman standing with those 1 finish point into their favor, almost on those top 16 teams and top 59 live players. So well, on to the other end, talking about team number 9, they're also looking in a very close call to watch out. They're also looking in a very close momentum to peel out the game. But team number 16, they're not known to the position. A typical 1v1 scenario could be created, a typical 1v1 scenario could be developed right now, but not that easy. Down the ground, team number 9 is pretty much ready with their plan, is pretty much ready with the execution, and finally the first knock, which was very much required, is done. And they're moving very much intentively, they're moving very much aggressively. Could be a difficult task, could be a challenging task in terms of height advantage, height disadvantage, because if the map is of Miramar, this becomes very much crucial. But it's not like Miramar only requires height advantage. Sanok and Wrangle also requires the same level of height advantage and man advantage, which gives you a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum. But the play of game of each map is very much different, and finally a 1v2 should be proclaimed, and there you go. Danish is moving forward, barely surviving those few HP. Finally he'll take that player down, getting those finishes point. And team number 16, well, they will get this fight with those 4 finishes point into their favor. This was what we were talking about, a pretty much good start and a pretty much good end. 15 teams of 56 players, and the area, the 5 minutes what we were talking about, well, this is been finally confirmed out. Well, 15 teams, 56 players, as we can see, are still surviving out. Liquid 5 eSports are still waiting on 4 men standing. They haven't secured any finish point yet. A decent mold, a decent momentum has been maintained out in front of them. It's gonna be team number 5. They're also looking very much, very much on a good hold, very much on a good challenging phase. But the scenario develops where you could not get those man advantage, you could not get those plays in the right place in the zone. But talking about team number 6, well, they're in a great place, they're in a great hold inside the zone, having 4 men strong advantage, having not finished point yet. Well, this is what we talk about. You're confident about your rotations, you're confident about your zone progression, your IGling, your rotations. So kill point sometimes doesn't matter for a few teams. In between these things, I'll request each and everyone to please go do hit that like button, subscribe the channel, share the stream with your mates, with your friends, and do show your support, because 7.5 minutes is over. We'll end this day in just a few minutes, but before that, I'll request each and everyone to please go to hit that like button, subscribing the channel, sharing the stream, and showing your support. But Liquid 5 Esports, they are in a great momentum to win this game. They're in a great momentum. There we go, Shasha finally trying to take some initial upcoming sprays into her favor. Onto the other end, it's Floor, Shasha, Shabina, and Mio. They are 4 men standing with those 0 finishes point in their backpack. A typical good start, but the knocks could trouble team number 5, and they're almost ready for the revenge as well. After the other end, team number 20 looking in a great hold, looking in a great positioning. Talking about team number 12, well, they're also in the upper hand. They're also in a good phasing phase, a good phasing approach right now. 15 teams, 51 players are surviving, and this game is totally moving towards a fantastic, a chaotic ending for the day. Well, on to the other end, if we talk about the drop clashes, well, some rotation clashes could be seen by team number 14 right now. Team GSF, 4 men standing with those 1 finishes point into their favor. 15 teams, 48 players. Last few minutes, as we can see, are still moving forward. Last few minutes are still maintained out, and team number 18 looking in a great momentum, looking in a great stance to move forward. 9 to 10 minutes is almost over, and let's see what result could be maintained, what result could be proclaimed, because there's always a chance of a table turning performance by each and every team, and each and every team has also a potential of a table turning gameplay at any point of the time. But talking about zone central point, I think the game becomes very much easy. The game becomes very much stable for a few minutes, for a few times when we move towards those mid moments of the day, mid moments of the game as well. So it is very much challenging, very much crucial for the teams and players as well. But northeastern part, While team number 5, Swifty, is still waiting on the last player standing with those 3 finishes point in their backpack and a decent start by this team. But the negative part of the team is that they have lost 3 players with those 3 finishes point, which is totally not acceptable. Hello, on to the another end. If we talk about the another drop clash, well, there comes the another decent drop clash. What we were talking about, and if we talk about the teams, if we talk about the players, they are also on a good holdable, doable approach as well. Athens is still a region to challenge out, is still a region to to be maintained out. If we talk about STALWART eSports, they're also looking in a great momentum. They're also looking in a great hold to maintain out. 10 and a half minutes is almost over. 30 to 40% time being what we talk about is almost getting fulfilled out. But onto the other end, if we talk about team GSS, they are also 4 months standing with those 1 finishes point into their favor. 10 to 11 minutes is almost getting over. Let's see how will they certain position, how will the certain maintenance how will play off, how will the teams move forward. But team number 6, now they're looking in danger. The last lone ranger surviving for the team, it's is Delphia VIP, the solo player standing for the team with those 2 finishes point. The consistency is maintained very basically. 11 and a half minutes is almost done. But onto the southern parts of the region, Rise Ayush, Rise Cup, Lever Cakes, well, these 4 players are still standing and they're almost ready for the fight with team number 14. A 4v4 scenario could be developed out. A 4v4 scenario could be maintained out, but the challenges would also be increased. 12 minutes is almost over and the decent start is almost getting started. Well, almost on to the other end. If we talk about the southern parts of the region, it's very much difficult. It's very much challenging for the teams and players as well. They are 4 months standing with those 0 finishes point, and a pretty much good start is also done by the teams and players as well. Let's see how will team number 14 engage this fight and what will be the results by the teams and by the players as well. M416 with the 3x, a very basic, a very doable combination to watch out. In front of them, it's team number 16. They're also having a pretty much difficult task to be maintained out. Multiple fights, what we talk about could be engaged. Multiple fights, what we talk about could be a maximized right now in this particular game, in this particular match. 13 minutes is over. Stalwart esports, they're still looking in a great momentum to be maintained out. 13 to 14 minutes is almost over. In front of them, it's team number 4 looking in a dangerous position, looking in a lethal position to be maintained out. Anytime that fight could be paused out, it could be played out. But you should be alert, you should be ready for those fight, and you should be ready for those aggression at any point of the game, because this game is all about those aggression, those rage, and those game winning strategies. And I think whichever team will deliver a better match winning strategy, I think that team will give a better consistent performance as well, and overall a winning performance as well. But fair Illies and if we talk about Euphoria, these are the last 2 players standing. They haven't secured any finish point. They're almost on top 15 teams, top 39 alive players. Talking about the western parts of the region, they're also 4 months standing, but now they have lost 2 players, and the third one, it's Logica. He has been taken down, and one by one each player of the team is being eliminated, and this is gonna be very much challenging. 14 to 14 and a half minutes is almost over, which is a 50% time of the day, and which becomes very much crucial and decent for the players and teams as well. But onto the other end, Liquid 5 esports, still trying to initiate some fights, still trying to initiate some momentums, and this is gonna be very much crucial and challenging. And there comes the phenomenal shift as well. There comes the phenomenal hold as well. 14 to 14 and a half minutes is almost getting over. 32 remaining players, 14 teams, and some grenades, some throwables have been used. Pretty much difficult, pretty much challenging aggression is being done in front of them. It's team number 12. They're also very much ready. They're also looking in a very chaotic scene to move forward. M762, some difficult task is being done down. Team number 10, last two players standing with those three finishes pointed in their favor. 14 teams, 28 players are still surviving down the line onto the other end. Northern parts of the region, it's a very difficult task to maintain out, but southeastern part, challenging region, challenging phase to be forwarded out. 15 to 16 minutes is almost getting ready. Northern parts of the region, it's a fair. Elise still waiting on. In front of them, it's team number 11. Having a roar inside water is also very much different, also very much challenging for the teams and players as well. Let's see, last 12, not last 12, top 12 teams, and not top 12, it's the top 11 teams and top 20 alive players are still standing out. And let's see what will be the result, what will be the momentum maintained by the players and teams. Well, similarly onto the other end, if we talk about the zone formation, there comes the hard shift, what we were talking about, and team number 16. For now time being, this team is 3 men standing with those 5 finishes pointed to the favor. They're almost on top 10 teams, top 17 alive players. A pretty much consistent performance is maintained by the players, is maintained by the teams. 16 and a half and 17 minutes is almost being overed, but still a continuous battle, a continuous fight is proclaimed out. And there comes the phenomenal spray from the running vehicle. The player has been taken down, and team number 4, well, they will be also eliminated one by one. Each player of few teams have been eliminated right down the ground. Well, 17 and a half minutes is almost over. Talking about team number 17, well, holding a great position, will not get you a good great hold, or will not give you a great second ender, but giving consistency, showing teamwork, giving gun power, working on your skills, and relieving your bad points will always give you a lot of a good opportunity and a good stubble to move forward. 6 teams, 10 players right now, as you can see in this trophy, and on an average, if we look forward, each team will contain 1 or 2 players maximum to maximum. So in this case, if team number 16 is getting those 3 men strong advantage with those 5 finishes point, we can totally clarify and get a conclusion that this team is holding a pretty much